I was still sitting in my office, wondering where to start my journey to uncover the secrets of animation, when suddenly my inner voiceover voice told me the answer. You must become a master animator. Master animator. Of course, that was it. Become a master animator. But how? I got it. I will believe in myself really hard.
I can do the best animations ever!
Apparently just believing in oneself isn't enough. It seems like it requires hard work, dedication, and years of experience in practicing. Can't get that done before lunch. But here's something you can do real quick. Stay informed with our animation news. These are the topics we will be talking about today. Wage-fixing cartel. Pixar, Disney, Dreamworks and LucasArts had illegal hiring agreements for years. Other business news concerning Pixomondo, Dreamworks and Sony Animation. Animation legend Glen Keane presents Duet, his first project since his retirement from Disney. A Popeye statue copied from a plastic toy is sold for $28.2 million. The trailer for The Book of Life looks a little different than other CG productions. Actual animation experts are invited to vote for the Oscars. And the Daytime Emmy Awards nominate projects that are distributed over the internet or video on demand. It seems that the big companies Pixar, Disney, Dreamworks and LucasArts had a year-long wage-fixing cartel. The companies secretly agreed to not aggressively headhunt each other's workers and, even worse, declared that they will not bid up each other's salary offers. Now let's say we have a talented artist who is wanted by both companies. In a free market, the person could say to the one company, well, this company is giving me so much money, how much are you giving me? Give me a reason so I work for you. There could be a bidding up. If many companies want this artist, you have to pay him more. But now, if those companies have a secret agreement, the artist doesn't get the money that he deserves. The bad part is that they did that during a time where the CG industry was blooming. They had the money to pay the artists what they are actually worth. There are a bunch of emails from @Catmull saying stuff like, we have avoided wars up in Northern California because all of the companies up here, Pixar, ILM, Lucasfilm, Dreamworks and a couple of smaller places have conscientiously avoided raiding each other. I would like the kind of relationship that Pixar has with Disney in that people cannot be considered to move back and forth. However, even raiding other studios has very bad long-term consequences, which obviously means it drives up wages and hurts profits. Dick Cook, a Disney chairman, replied to this, I agree, we will reaffirm our position again. As for Pixar or Disney, they absolutely know they are off limits. There are other mails reaffirming a similar agreement with Dreamworks. Steve Jobs and @Catmull wrote several mails about this, and even John Lasseter knew about this. The only big animation company that @Catmull couldn't win for their wage-fixing cartel was Sony Pictures Animation. So when Pixar was purchased by Disney, @Catmull made sure to put some extra pressure on Sony. He told the Disney studio lead, given Sony's extremely poor behavior in its recruiting practices, I would feel very good about aggressively going after Sony people. Now, this thing is of course going to court, but the damage has already been done. You know what? Films are supposed to be something that come from the heart of the filmmakers. Disney, Dreamworks, Pixar, you used to be dreamers and idealists. You created out of passion to touch people's hearts. And you made it, and you made it successfully. And now you're in the position to unify a lot of artists to make even better dreams come true. And what do? You screw them. You see filmmaking as a business, and you made it into an assembly line. That's not the core of movie making. So don't screw your workers over. If you one day are in the position to hire people, keep that in mind. Don't forget where you started. So, what else is new in the world of business? Oh, come on. Dreamworks lays off dozens of employees after How to Tame Your Dragon 2 did not perform in the box office as expected. The workers were not warned in advance, and they weren't even allowed to go back to their desks to pick up their belongings. What? According to the Facebook page Pay Us Pixomondo, there still are some freelancers waiting for their money from 2013. Pixomondo is a worldwide operating company that does special effects for Game of Thrones, for example. And they won the Oscar for Best VFX in Hugo Cabret. How can you still be an operating company and even on your page, on your internet page, you're still hiring people if you did not pay workers from previous jobs? What kind of business model is that? What else? Next one. Sony Animation relocated their entire animation department from Los Angeles to Vancouver, Canada. Apparently they have very good tax conditions at the moment in Canada, so yeah, that's why everybody's going there. And this is not the only studio in Los Angeles that closed or is relocating, so it seems like the industry there is in a little bit of a recession. There's no word out there yet if Sony will keep the people that are willing to move to Vancouver. But there also are 100 people who will stay in Los Angeles as a small pre-production unit. After having done this pathetic chunk of business news, let's move on to something more pleasant. Glen Keane presented his first short film after his retirement from Disney at this year's Google I/O conference. Glen Keane is a master of expressive lines and animation, and especially his poses are a delight. He gave us such beloved characters like the Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Tarzan, and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And he made every pose entangled into pure eye candy. For this project called Duet, he worked with Motorola's Advanced Technology and Projects Group, which is already an indication that this is not a normal short film. It's this third short done with a special kind of technology where you can take your cell phone and have it as like a virtual camera, and the animation is taking place 360 degrees around you. You have to watch the movie several times to have seen everything, because the plot will split up and come together at different places again. At the conference, they showed a version of a Duet that was cut like a normal film, so it could be presented on screen. And they stressed that the interactive version, of course, will be a different kind of experience. What's so beautiful about this film is that you can see Glen Keane's line as a rough line without any cleanup over it. It's just wonderful to see this energy, just how it flew out of his pencil. It's amazing. Right before they presented Duet, they talked a little bit about the process. Glen Keane was actually doing his animation with 60 frames per second. And the master himself even stops by. You can see him drawing, and he says some really inspirational stuff. So if you have the time, you should definitely check out this little making of before the presentation of the film. If you have a closer look at the feature films of the recent years, you will see that a lot of the films have huge similarities in their style. Like everybody's using those super waxy skin shaders and the realistic Pixar eyeballs. We have something like, you know, a CG visual library by now. It seemed like this Pixar Disney style always was the desired style, you know, and it is true, it is very appealing, but Some characters could just appear in the other movie because the style is so similar. Well, I have to admit, it is good if a company gets recognized for their style, but it also kind of limits the possibilities. If everybody feels like they have to imitate the Pixar style, we all we get the same stuff all the time. And yeah, it is difficult to get that amount of appeal. There are some glances of light in the recent year. For example, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which tried, at least in the animation style, to imitate how Muppets move. That was just refreshing and brilliant. And then you got Hotel Transylvania with the super cartoony motions in 3D. And then of course the Lego movie, which obviously because it decided to stick to the material, had to look differently than all the other CG features before it. Just because I like individual styles, I'm very excited when I saw the trailer for The Book of Life. This film is put together by RealFX, which made that film with the birds that yeah, in this case, they just copied the Pixar style. I'm happy that they got away from that. I mean, look at these colors, look at this amount of detail, and I really like that those are not your average skin-shaded people. So I'm very excited. Let's see what this story will be like. Related to this, there also was a trailer for Song of the Sea, which also has a very cool art style. The style was already used in Secret of Kells, and I really enjoyed it there, so I'm looking forward to seeing this as well. What do you think about animation styles? Do you not mind the Pixar Disney style being in every feature? What do you think of attempts to do it a little differently? And maybe you have an example for a film that has a very unique style. I would love to read your opinions, your suggestions in the comments below. Artist Jeff Koons auctioned a 6.5 foot tall, 2,000 pounds Popeye statue made from stainless steel. It was sold for the affordable sum of $28.2 million. Now, it turns out that this thing is a 1-to-1 copy of a Popeye children toy. The artist who originally designed it probably got substantially less than $28.2 million for his job. And this artist is even known for just taking existing motifs and making them out of stainless steel and then selling them for a lot of money. And sometimes he even copies stuff without having the necessary permissions. In this case, he had one, but still, he even says that there's no critical intention, no meaning, no opinion behind his pieces. He just sells big, shiny stuff. This is... Here is our expert about things that make you angry, our intern, Rolf the Frog.
What the f***? Who the f***, seriously, pays $28 million in 2014 for f***ing big ugly ass Popeye? And will they buy a statue from me? Now available in the exclusive Rolf the Frog collection is a big f***ing shiny frog statue. It's heavy as crap, shiny as shit, and is a lazy 1-to-1 copy of something that somebody else designed. Do you have a casino in Las Vegas? Then this needs to go in your reception hall, or next to your toilet. I don't really give a f*** as long as you pay for it. And I am modest. I am content with just $20 million. So pretend that you know what art is and buy my statue. Now accepting PayPal. Shipping costs not included, bitch.
Yeah, that was not quite what I was going for. What do you think about it? Do you think there are cases where it's justified that art is worth so much money? And what is the most you have ever paid for a piece of art? Write it into the comments now or after the video. In the last news video, we talked about how some members of the Academy, you know, the people that vote for who will get the Oscar, don't even care about animation and didn't even bother to watch the nominees. Now, this is promising to change because the Academy invited 27 people that are in the short and feature animation industry and 19 people from the VFX branch. Among them, many people from Disney, Pixar, Dreamworks, and a couple of European studios as well. The most notable invitation is for legendary Japanese filmmaker Hayao Myasaki, who already declined a previous invitation in 2006. So people say it's not very likely that he will take the invitation. And while we are already talking about awards, for the first time the Emmy Daytime Awards nominated web shows and video-on-demand animation films. One of the series nominated was Dreamworks' Turbo Fast series on Netflix and The Scarecrow from Moonbot Studios. They made a great campaign for a restaurant, and they not only made a nice short film, but they paired it with an adventure game. So this was nominated in a category that was made for projects like this called New Approaches. I think this reflects perfectly how the industry is changing. It's not just TV and the cinema anymore. There's a lot of stuff produced just for the internet, just produced for streaming services. What do you think about the internet as a distribution method? Are there any series that you watch in the web? Please let us know, in the comments. This was it for the news show. The next news show will be on in 2 months. Till then, we will have lots of tutorials and interviews here on this channel. If you don't want to miss any of this, you should subscribe. If you like what we're doing, please leave us a like or a comment and share with friends. We really appreciate it. This was Ferdinand Englander for Animator Island. Take care and goodbye.